It's not going to, the barrier of entry is not going to be easy because you need a lot of money to create a metaverse. So, you can get on it. It's going to be easy for people. But in terms of creating metaverses, there's a big difference. And you're seeing tons of money flow into the sector. And here's why. Okay. When you look at Web 1, which was, 1996 to 2004, and Goldman Sachs does a good job. They have I think it's a 30-page report, just like Morgan Stanley has a 30-page report. Citigroup has a 170-page report, and they all are taking, it's great because the contributors are people who have been in crypto that are commenting, and these are all metaverse, right, reports that came out in the last 3-4 months. All of them are highlighting how this industry is it will be 8 trillion to 13 trillion. They break it down with numbers, right? So, and it's not a fluff piece because they say a lot has to happen. It could take longer than expected. To me, to see the money pouring in right now is incredible, billions over the past couple of months. But if you're looking at Web 1, mostly read-only web forms. In 2004, 2016, the individuals gained the ability to create information into a global database. They could read and write the apps. It was interactive. Mobile came into, it was a big force. Web 3, individuals have the potential to monetize their own data. This is what I believe the internet was created for. Because right now the internet is owned by basically 5 or 6 different companies where all the content that you're seeing, which is spent the most on the internet, is owned by somebody, right? They can remove it from wherever, and everything that you publish, if you're on YouTube, you have a YouTube channel with 7 million people on it, if you say the wrong thing, YouTube could be like, okay, you're off, goodbye. They own the content. They own everything you do. Facebook owns everything you do on their platform. That's why they're able to sell all of your personal information, right? That's what's in all that private policy stuff that you just click and you just go on. Otherwise, you can't use the site. So when people say, what is the metaverse to me? It's the new internet, right? It's a decentralized place that's going to be permissionless, that's censorship resistant. And when you're censorship resistant, that means think of the thing you hate the most. And if you're the most racist person in the world, listen, if you believe in American freedom of speech, there's a market for that. And there are people that could say it on different platforms, but this is permissionless, right? Totally open marketplace that's going to replace all of social media as the medium for people to communicate, interact, own, monetize their own content, their own creations, right? And it's bringing every single thing together, all these innovations together, with DeFi, right? Which is decentralized apps, decentralized finance. You have NFTs, which are not just, Bored Apes and they're changing a freckle and trying to charge, $1 million for these things. This is permission, giving you permission to NFTs. I explain this through ticket sales and royalties and, music royalties. I just talked to a Grammy-winning producer of music in the rap industry who's, who wanted a little bit of advice and stuff on NFTs and things like that, but showing the royalties, the payments that can be made. You look at security tokens, DAO, which is governance tokens, where, the users govern the site, right? The users govern it, right? So there's a vote. It's not the board of directors who we now, you should know they don't really act in the best interest of the shareholders. They get paid a lot of money. We're seeing that with Twitter, right? Why wouldn't they accept this bid that's 50% higher? And these assholes on the board of directors who don't want to accept this bid, why the hell weren't you buying it? Because you're not accepting the bid because you think it's worth more, trying to get someone else to buy it. But why the hell weren't you buying it in the low 30s, right? And now you're trying to sell it for more. How do you make that pitch to somebody? Oh, Twitter's worth more. Then why the fuck weren't you buying it in the 30s, which was 3 months ago and 2 months ago, 1 month ago, before Elon Musk started purchasing this stuff? It's a good offer. It's a fair offer in this market where growth sucks. And for them to be looking for something else is incredible. Well, Dow changes that, right? So it brings together all of these trends together, and it's going to disrupt everything. I mean, you look at the banking industry, Wall Street, banking right now, and I'm going to make a bold statement, in 20 years, if these banks are not in the metaverse or on a blockchain, they're not going to be around. Because they make their fees deposits where, they charge money, they charge fees on everything where, they're giving you no interest. You could earn interest on cryptos now. You could, send payments for free in certain areas using different payment services now through crypto. It's very, very easy. You're seeing all the middlemen and all the fees where, hey, we know all these people. No, well, you have the internet now, and now you have these massive freaking groups where we saw Wall Street bets that can come together and change the face of multi-billion-dollar companies. And it's removing that where all this control that people have, and we're seeing it so much with elections and a political cycle and everything else, through the metaverse, this is decentralized, permissionless. Doesn't mean the payments and stuff are decentralized. It's still going to get regulated, but this allows everyone to be who they are. And this is what social media, I think, was intended to be like, where, holy shit, they're stealing all the information. Like, Yeah, they say if you don't know what the product is, you're the product. And you're the product in social media. That's how they make money, by you going in there and you're giving all the personal information, and they make advertising dollars. And you want proof that that model is changing so much. Facebook's changing their entire company for the metaverse, and the money flowing. If you look at JP Morgan, another one, Jamie Dimon was like, I hate the blockchain and Bitcoin. Listen, he's all over the blockchain now. You got to be on the blockchain because it allows, it's just a permissionless, decentralized, where you don't need someone to charge you fees anymore. And it's growing faster than you could ever believe. I didn't think the metaverse was a trend where I would be like, hey, invest in it. It's big. We invested through Mana in our CCI newsletter. We did very, very well. And it's still doing well. I don't even know if that site, who knows, 3-4 years ago, there's different sites that are absolutely amazing. But the money pouring into this sector right now, and Wall Street with these reports, you're seeing everything come together. They see it. This is the new world. Everything that you do, everything you purchase as retail, everything that you do is going to be digitalized. And you could get with it, or you don't have to get with it, and you could be AOL and BlackBerry. It's up to you. This is why you're seeing billions and billions and billions of dollars flow into this industry. The only industry I'm seeing that. SPACs are done. IPOs are done, right? They're on the shelf. You're seeing all this money that came into this market, right? It's drying up because of what the Fed's doing, raising interest rates, shrinking its balance sheet. Not as much money to take money out of the system. However, in a market like this, where you think everybody's selling everything and running, and you're seeing it with Netflix as well, the amount of money pouring into the metaverse is absolutely incredible. And there's one quote that Goldman has that I want to leave you with here, because it says, in an open metaverse world, there's likely to be significant technological and business model disruption. This new world will be a blockchain-based ecosystem, and Web3 native companies would challenge and perhaps, this is from Goldman Sachs, perhaps overtake the current internet behemoths. What that statement means, Daniel, is that this is your chance to buy Microsoft in the pennies, Amazon in the pennies, which, you could have done 80s, 90s as everything started really taking off, right? And getting in them super, super, super early and changing your life and becoming a billionaire. That's what they're saying. That's the power of the metaverse, and why all these companies, tons of big S&P 500 companies, the amount of companies that are going into the metaverse, and the money that's being raised is not by kids. It's not by, hey, people into crypto. It's come from Anderson Horowitz, which are the smartest venture capitalists in the world, have been around forever. It's coming from the Winklevoss twins, who have been in crypto. I mean, it's coming from billionaires, but it's the big money pushing into this industry. You have to start learning about it. It's early. There's a learning curve. It's tough, but you have to start learning about it. And, that's where I see the metaverse. It's really incredible. And especially over the past 4 months of what's happened, I think it was, Facebook announcing they're changing their name, just changing the narrative where everyone's like, holy shit. And now people are getting more involved. You see more sites being created. And man, they're seeing what's wrong with the central lands and the sandboxes. And they're coming out with better metaverses and companies and, economies where you're looking at Roblox and Fortnite. Roblox and Fortnite are not metaverse. It's like that's a one-way street. They're making all the money. Metaverse is about a total economy. That's permissionless economy where you can make money. You can open businesses. That's what the metaverse is. That's where social media is going. That's where banking is going. That's where everything's going. And it's happening a lot faster than I ever thought.
Absolutely.
A lot there. But,
well, a lot there. And hopefully it won't take that long. This is going to go on for years. Investments, Facebook's investing billions and billions per year into this over the next coming years. The big question for investors is, when will this follow through to see higher stock prices? So that's what we as investors want. So Facebook, Roblox, those are a couple. Snap, I thought was interesting by Wall Street, just with augmented reality and different things. Google is a big player. So there's a lot of ways to gain exposure to that. Obviously, you want to subscribe to our wonderful products to get our best picks, little tease there. But that's the ultimate question. And while this is going to take out and play out over years and the disruption, it's not a stretch to think that a lot of these gains, just like buying the Microsofts and everything for pennies, that's the life-changing gains. And that will happen, as we think, and very bullish on, over the next 18 months, give or take.
Yeah, for me, in covering sectors and covering innovation and going to Consumer Electronics Show, and I say that every year where anyone could attend, but having the media exposure where you have exclusive access and having my contacts there, and just being fascinated by so many things and bringing so many of these trends to you early, and sometimes so early when nothing really happens for a while. And then, you'll see the explosion in 5G and AI and all these companies and data analytics and stuff. But this trend is bigger than anything that I've seen. I mean, this is where everyone's everything you hate about the internet, everything you hate about social media, that's going to go into the metaverse now. And, You're going to see people, it's more than just, oh, what, am I going to put on a headset? No, you don't need to put on a headset, but some of them may have a headset, maybe the Oculus and whatever you're going to use. And it's not you going into this virtual world and playing games. It's not just that. It's conferences. It's having special meetings. I mean, they just held a concert, 2 different concerts, one on Roblox and one on Fortnite. And they got 30 million people to view this thing. 30 million. I mean, think about every single artist right now is looking at that going, holy shit. I mean, I'm performing at venues that have 30,000, 40,000. I mean, that was over like a 2-day period, but that's how many people have gone into this, right? And this is the younger generation. Like if you look at, and when I say younger, I'm talking about 35 and younger. Okay. 20 years, the next 20 years, this is all that they're doing. It's like this next generation, it's all digital. You can get on or you can, whatever. You can just sit there and whatever you want to do. But if you're looking to make money, if you're looking to get involved in the biggest trends, which is why you listen to this podcast and invest properly, this is where all the innovation is coming from. The Metaverse brings all of this together with NFTs, 3D, holograms, everything together. And the amount of companies that you're seeing in there where you can open up your own businesses, you can make your own money in it, and you make the money. And you make royalties on anything that's sold and resold again, right? So you can get royalties or a percentage on every single thing. You can own real estate and collect rent. Depending on where you own that real estate, what metaverse you own it in. I mean, these trends are very, very serious. There's a lot of flaws in some of the other companies that I know now because I've been digging in more than holy cow, to the point where just, my mind's about to explode and I can't even talk to people after, just reading all the reports and studying all this and going to all the metaverse sites. But this is something that's incredible, guys, and you need to learn about it. There's a learning curve. I know a lot of people think it's just a video game or why they get it. Trust me. I mean, they were making fun of the internet when it first came out with WW what? What do I have to do? Remember, I think it was a Today Show. Listen, it's for real. And if you don't think it's for real, just follow the money because that's where all the new capital, the capital being raised is going to. And it's not 10 million here or 30 million there, or even Qualcomm announcing a $100 million fund to invest in the metaverse. This is billions is pouring into this industry just over the past few months, and a lot of stuff is getting done, and I'm getting access to a lot of cool stuff, which is awesome. But just seeing it as it's developed is exciting, and there's going to be lots of ideas where people can make money from this.